Hey everyone, it's me Elijahman, and this is my 2025 meta definitive Mii Gunner guide. Also, huge shoutouts to Lammers44, the best Mii Gunner player in the United States and second best in the world. He helped me a lot with this guide. I left his links in the descriptions to all his socials, so please show him some love. Mii Gunner is a zoner with a really strong advantage state, especially ledge trapping, decent combos, a slow neutral, and an okay disadvantage. This character has a decent matchup spread but can really struggle with some rush down characters. As a secondary, he can be really strong since he's relatively easy to pick up and can easily just destroy some characters. Now for the big question. Movesets. For your neutral special, you have the option between Charge Shot, Laser, and Cluster Grenade. The most all-around solid neutral special is Charge Shot, and you can pretty much play this into any matchup. The next best one is Cluster Grenade. Between Charge Shot and Cluster Grenade, I would say both of these are interchangeable. Any matchup that Charge Shot works in, Cluster Grenade can also work in as well. The worst of the three is Laser, but Laser is still a really good neutral special. It's very similar to Falco's Lasers, and there's some matchups where Laser would actually be preferred over Charge Shot and Cluster Grenade. Laser is particularly good against characters that can camp really well and can force approaches. Characters where Laser would be strong include Steve, Sonic, and Aegis. Between Charge Shot, Laser, and Cluster Grenade, you gotta figure out a few things regarding how you like to play in order to figure out which one's best for you. Here are the pros and cons between all the three neutral specials. The pros for Charge Shot are that it's a really strong move, it can scare your opponent into picking options, and it can kill your opponent really easily. Cons are it requires some patience and it's not very spammable. For Cluster Grenade, it's relatively easy to spam, it has better ledge trapping, a lot of combos, and it's really annoying. Cons are it has slow startup, it's a bit gimmicky, and it needs space to set up. For Laser, the pros are it's very spammy, forces your opponent to approach, and does a lot of damage. The cons are it has a bit of startup and it isn't the best for ledge trapping. Depending on what you like and how you prefer to play the game, the choice of Cluster Grenade, Laser, and Charge Shot is up to you. I recommend sticking with one of the neutral specials, especially when you're first learning Mii Gunner, than branching out to other ones. In terms of side special, Missile is by far your best option. Stealth Burst can be used as a rare moveset counter pick since it's really good against characters with laggy projectiles. For example, against Duck Hunt, it can be really strong since it can go through all their projectiles. Flame Pillar is by far the worst, and there's not many practical use cases for the move. For up B, the best choice is by far Arm Rocket. Lunar Launch is an okay choice, but the versatility that Arm Rocket gives you when recovering in disadvantage is much better than the vertical height, speed, and projectile that Lunar Launch could provide you. Cannon Jump Kick is a really niche up B choice, but can be used in matchups where you need a strong out of shield option and you're okay to give away a large portion of your recovery power. For down special, your best one by far is Bomb Drop. The Reflector and Absorb can be strong in a few matchups, but learning Bomb Drop is the most important. For example, against Snake and Banjo, Absorb is really broken since it can let Mii Gunner heal off the explosions and recover a lot of percent. Reflector is also good against characters like Ryu since the Hadouken can be really hard for Mii Gunner to deal with. In neutral, you typically want to keep your distance from your opponent without completely cornering yourself. Your best moves to find openings are Landing Fair, Soft Missiles, Forward Tilt, Nair, Bomb Drop, and Grenade. If you're using Charge Shot, you can set up projectiles or create distance in order to give yourself time to charge your Charge Shot. You can also play the typical mind game of using Charge Shot where if your opponent tries to jump over you, they get stuffed out by an aerial. If they try to run up, their opponent gets hit by the Charge Shot, and if they try to run up and shield, you go and grab them. Or if you're not sure what they're going to do at all, you can just hold shield and react. Keep in mind that shooting the Charge Shot while you're charging it is only frame 3, whereas shooting it while you're not charging it is frame 12. That means if your goal is to react to your opponent with Charge Shot, holding the charge is a lot more beneficial to you. For Cluster Grenade, the best way to use this move is at around this distance. This is because the move has a lot of startup, so if you use it too close, you might get stuffed out. Now here's the broken thing about Cluster Grenade. If your opponent tries to shield this move, it's positive on shield. This means that if someone shields your Cluster Grenade, you can run up and get a free grab. Also, similar to Charge Shot, you can play the same game where you punish what they like to do after the Cluster Grenade. When using Laser, you can pretty much spam it once you have a decent distance from your opponent. As I said earlier, this is basically a stronger version of Falco's Laser. Using this move can get you really good chip damage, and and it's a great move to force your opponent to approach, since running away from it or holding shield isn't exactly a viable option. A key part of playing Mii Gunner is understanding when to use homing missiles and straight missiles. You input homing missile by slightly tilting your stick while pressing B, and you get the strong missile by fully tilting your stick in the direction while you press B. It's basically the same difference between doing a forward tilt and a forward smash, except you're just pressing the B button. Homing missiles are typically better used when your opponent is jumping, since it'll track after them. It can also be a good tool to follow up behind when you're trying to find an opening. The straight missile is better used when your opponent is having a grounded approach against you. The straight missile covers basically one lane of the stage, whether that's the ground or on a platform. I recommend using homing missiles in neutral and straight missiles in advantage, since in advantage, your opponent is going to have a lot less opportunities to avoid the straight missile. Bomb drop is also another one of your strongest neutral tools. It's a good tool to force your opponent to pick an option when approaching you. Your opponent can either jump over it, hit it back at you, or just do nothing, which all have their own counterplay and create openings for you. The best way to use it is while jumping, whether it's a full hop or short hop. Another side note about bomb drop, if you already have one on stage, as soon as you spawn another bomb drop, your current bomb drop will instantly explode. This can be really helpful when your opponent is trying to space themselves to explode the bomb drop with an attack. Bomb drop also has a strange bug where if you spawn one after another projectile is out, it'll straight up just eat the projectile like it never existed. My biggest piece of advice to you regarding using Mii Gunner's projectiles is to always have an intention behind each projectile you throw out. This will help you get a deeper understanding of how your opponent likes to play around your projectiles and prevent you from developing bad habits as you continue to play Mii Gunner. Another one of Mii Gunner's most broken neutral tools is Mii Gunner's Nair. Mii Gunner's neutral air is basically a diet version of Smash 4 Cloud's Nair. It has a lot of disjoint, is relatively fast, it can even set up for some combos. It's a great move to throw out if your opponent is trying to approach you from the air, or if you need to cover yourself while trying to position yourself around the stage. Next, we have forward air. This is a really broken move in neutral, as it's really safe on shield and also has some movement tricks. Mii Gunner's forward air can be a really good move to quickly stuff out your opponent if they're trying to quickly approach you, while also creating some distance between the both of you. There's also a Mii Gunner specific tech called gun dashing. This basically involves using forward air and holding back to carry the momentum of the move in the air. The best way to input this is by inputting forward air with your right stick and then holding in the direction you want to be pushed in your left stick. It can also be auto cancelled when you full hop, giving it a lot less lag. Last but not least, forward tilt is your best grounded attack in neutral. It has a good amount of range and sends a really good angle for you to set up your zoning. In terms of Mii Gunner's other moves in neutral, they're solid as well, but they have a lot less use cases. Jab can be used as a quick get off me option. Up tilt is a really fast move that can catch people jumping near you or trying to land on top of you, and it can also kill at higher percent similar to Wolf up tilt. Up smash is by far your best out of shield option, and it has an insane scoop hitbox and can kill at really early percents. Back air is a really strong move with a lot of knockback that will kill at higher percents, and is also pretty safe on shield. Mii Gunner's advantage state is one of the strongest and annoying to deal with advantage states in the game. When your opponent is above you, if they try to land directly on top of you, up air can be used to call them out. Nair is also a good juggling tool and can be used to set up platform tech chases. If they try to aggressively land on you with an air dodge, strong missiles, dash attack, and forward smash can be really good tools to catch it. When your opponent is off stage, it's best to typically start setting up for a ledge trap. The optimal ledge trap is setting a bomb drop right at neutral getup distance. This will stop neutral getups and even stop jumps if spaced correctly. Once this is placed, you can use charge shot to react to your opponent's options. Now, if you're using cluster grenade, you can do this. Cluster grenade can be used to edge guard, and the best way to use it is so that it bounces off the ground once and falls right off the ledge. It can be really tough for some characters to deal with and can guarantee a lot of situations where you can just kill your opponent for trying to recover. It's very important to learn the distances where you can set up bomb drop and grenade so that you won't waste any time spacing yourself in a real match. Typically, the ledge trapping mind game consists of covering between rolls and jumps, since those are typically the most consistent options to get around this type of ledge trapping. Strong missiles can be used as an option to soft read rolls, and forward smash can be used for a hard read. Forward smash can also get an early kill if your opponent neutral get-ups or picks an option at a predictable timing. I don't recommend spamming this too much as it can get easily punished. If your opponent keeps holding on to ledge and doesn't pick an option, you can use charge shot, down smash, down tilt, and grenade to force him into picking an option. By the way, all these resources will also be available in the description if you would like to save them for future reference. Also, another side note, if you go to stages with platforms near the ledge, you can get some setups with bomb drop by bouncing it off the platform. If your opponent gets sent off stage but you don't have enough time to set up for an optimal ledge trap, I recommend trying to react with Nair and F-tilt. F-smash can also be used to hard read an option if you're confident. Due to Mii Gunner's strong ledge trapping, many players will try to recover high in order to skip this part of the game. Mii Gunner is by far the strongest when they're ledge trapping, so your goal should always be to send them off stage and make them grab ledge. Using your tools like Nair, Fair, or Bear to stuff them out if they try to aggressively recover high puts them in a really bad position and lets you play where you're strongest. Back throw into double laser forces your opponent to pick an option and can easily burn enough resources to set up for a ledge trap as well. There are also some scenarios where it can be a good option to run off stage and edgeguard your opponent with Nair and Fair, since many characters can struggle with the large hitboxes being placed off stage. Mii Gunner's ledge trapping involves a lot of conditioning and basically convincing your opponent to pick a certain option so you can kill them later for it. As I said earlier, moves like Bear, up tilt, and up smash are also really good at securing the stock. When sent off stage, you can use gun dashing as I explained earlier to recover back to stage. You can also B-reverse a move so that you gun dash in the correct direction. When you're off stage, you can also put a bomb drop on stage to cover yourself. One of my favorite ways to recover is by shooting 2 homing missiles, then recovering to ledge. Using cluster grenade can also be a good option as well. Mii Gunner's charge shot can also be used as a strong mix-up. If you choose to recover aggressively onto stage, Arm Rocket is really strong because it has deceptively low landing lag. This is especially strong when mixed in with grenades or bomb drops, since many characters without a disjoint won't be able to easily contest you if you're recovering directly into your own projectile. On some stages, you can also use up air to poke through the stage if your opponent isn't ready for it. I don't recommend doing this every time as you can be easily punished for it, but it's a good mix-up to go for. One of the most important things when recovering as Mii Gunner is to always try your best to save your double jump. This will give you timing mix-up when using Arm Rocket, making it a lot harder for your opponent to edgeguard you. If you're getting juggled by a character like Steve or Game & Watch, using Arm Rocket in the air isn't a bad option since it can get you out of the situation quickly, and the characters most of the time won't be fast enough to catch up to you once you're landing. Using gun dashing in the air is also a good way to create some distance while you're landing. Your low percent combos consist of Nair into dash attack, Nair into grab, Fair into dash attack, Fair into grab, any special into grab or dash attack. If you're able to get the grab, I would always recommend going for it, because if you do, you'll be able to get up throw into Nair from 0 to 15% on most characters. Once your opponent's at middle percent and you get a grab, you'll have to decide whether or not you want to go for up throw frame traps or if you want to go for forward and back throw for positioning. Against floaty characters like Jigglypuff and Mewtwo, I would recommend going for up throw into up air as a frame trap, and if they air dodge, you can get an up tilt right after. Against fast fallers, I recommend going for back throw or forward throw for positioning, since it puts you in a much better spot in the long game. For charge shot combos, you have Fair into charge shot. Nair and F tilt can be really good moves to set up tech chases so that you can tech chase your opponent with charge shot. Bomb drop, cluster grenade, and missile all have down smash kill confirms at the right spacings. Drag down up air into up tilt is also really strong, and at some spacings down smash can work as well. The closer your opponent is to Mii Gunner, the more consistent the follow up will be when you're going for drag down up air. These are the timings to auto cancel Mii Gunner's aerials. These will help you spam these aerials a lot easier. For Nair, all you need to do is a short hop rising Nair. This can be done by just doing the short hop input macro. For Bear, it's the same input as Nair, but you have a slightly delayed fast fall. When you're in tumble, you can use up air from frames 1 to 10, letting you get out of tumble and also auto canceling the end lag. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. I hope you found this guide to be helpful. Once again, huge shout out to Lammers44. This guide would not have been possible without him. Let me know down in the comments if you'd like me to make more guides like this in the future, and if you have any questions about Mii Gunner. Also, if you think I should have put something in the video, please let me know and I'll make sure to add everything to the pinned comment down below.